What's up? I'm Matt from Kublai Khan, and you're listening to Grasser Productions.
Hi, my name is Lucas, you're watching Grasser Production, and I'm here tonight with Matt from Kublai Khan. Hi, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're on tour with many great bands. Lionheart, These Nuts, Obey the Brave, Forbro. It's a very big tour. How proud are you to be part of it?
I'm really proud. I'm glad to be doing it. I mean, this is our 5th time over here, and this is by far the biggest tour we've ever done by like a mile.
Yeah.
And it's really nice too, because a lot of the tours that we did do when we first started coming over here, they weren't necessarily, I guess, stylistically such a match. You know what I mean?
Really?
So this one, the people that we're playing to are already coming for a sound that's catered to, you know, heavy music, aggressiveness, movement, stuff like that. So it's been real nice because it's just been a good demographic of people. We've done a couple like real deathcore tours over here, and people are always good to us and they watch us, but they were just like, "Why are y'all on this tour? You guys don't really match," you know what I mean? But this one's been an incredible match, so I'm very thankful for that.
So you felt much more comfortable with the audiences?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right, so that answers my next question. How does Kublai Khan fit into the lineup? I guess pretty well, you could say. So how's the tour so far? Any highlights you want to share with us? Because it's coming to an end. I think it's the second to last show tonight.
Yeah, we have tonight and then tomorrow. And I mean, I think tonight and tomorrow are both sold out already.
Oh yeah.
Which is nice. There's been a ton of sellout shows. I mean, all the dates have been awesome. There's a lot of places that we've played on this tour that we've played previously that were real kind of tough markets for us.
Yeah.
Like for instance, yesterday we played in Vienna out in Austria, and we played there a couple times before, and to very kind of, you know, timid reaction and stuff like that. Not a whole lot of merch sales and stuff. But then playing yesterday, people were really getting into it. It was really like we were kind of finally starting to find our niche out here, which is nice because I know that being a band that's not from here, coming over, you kind of have to continue coming. I mean, this is our 2nd time this year coming over. And it seems like a lot of that hard work is starting to pay off, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So your newest record, Absolute, is not even 2 months old now. Any reactions so far that you're really proud of? I mean, it's probably your best record so far.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
And I think so too. It's very good. I like it a lot. So how do you self-measure the success of a new record?
Honestly, as long as the 4 of us are really into it. I mean, we wrote that record. That was the most cohesive record we've ever written.
I think you just needed a week or something.
Yeah.
Well, interview with you guys.
Yeah, we had about 2.5 songs, decently pretty well put together. And then we took the first week of the studio time to write the rest of the record and just kind of hammer it all out. Okay. And over the course of that month, we made little minor changes here and there and stuff like that. But for the most part, it came together really quickly. But we're the type of band that we still write all of our music very organically. Like we write in the same room, all in our instruments
just
together.
Jamming together.
Yeah, we just jam it, and then if we like it, we put it on the record and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, the sales have been the best they've ever been. You know, we're starting to see more of like a peak in our shows. People are really gravitating towards the new stuff more than the old stuff. And usually sometimes when you go see a band, they'll be like, "Oh, when are they going to play their old stuff?"
Yeah.
You know? And people will play a couple old songs, and it's actually like people act like they don't even know it. They want the current stuff, which is good because I feel like that'll extend the longevity of our lifespan.
Yeah, of course.
But hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, it did. So, which songs of the record are you actually playing live, and which are you enjoying the most?
Well, we play all the singles right now. Like,
yeah, of course.
We open with Armor of Goddamn. That's how we open the set. We play Truest Love. We go into Boom Slang straight after the intro, and we play Self-Destruct and stuff like that. So mainly just trying to push the singles.
Yeah, of course.
And then we're trying to basically reconstruct and rebuild a new set after this tour of just this record and just the last record.
Okay.
We're going to start to, because we still play a few things off the older records, and we're kind of trying to cycle those out.
Any particular reason why?
Mainly just kind of like I was saying, just that, I mean, for me, it's kind of, we've been playing those songs forever.
Yeah, okay.
It's really kind of nice to not have to play them all the time. And we can honestly see kind of over the years I mean, a kind of a droop in the reaction. Like there's a lot of those songs that we used to play, and those songs were our bread and butter. Like we couldn't get away with not playing those songs.
Of course.
And now with kind of the explosion of the new material, those songs are kind of being like, okay, I don't really know the old stuff, I want to hear the new stuff. So we're just trying to basically, I guess, kind of give the people what they want, sort of thing. And for us, it's a mutual kind of thing, because we definitely want to play the new stuff as well. I do, for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about the new record and the singles that you released. Mm-hmm. I had to look up what a boom slang is, actually.
Yeah, the snake?
Yeah, it's a venomous snake, right? So how does the title of the song relate to the lyrics or the song itself? What's the idea behind that?
It's kind of just talking about like people who just kind of like suck the life out of you, you know, and especially because, and especially when you do this full time, I'd say, you know, we tour most of the months out of the year. You deal with a lot of stuff and you deal with a lot of people that, even though they may really enjoy your music and they may be very big fans of what you're doing, it can be very taxing on you emotionally and socially. And I mean, I can even tell just personally with myself, just over the years of touring and getting constantly, you know, having to talk to new people every single night, it's kind of worn me down. Okay. I'm a lot less social than I used to be and stuff like that, which is nothing wrong with that. People grow and change, that's just part of life. But there are a lot of people that will just take it out of you, and with no remorse at that. And it's just kind of about like the struggle of trying to keep this thing alive and know that the social aspect of it and being out there and talking to people is such an important part of it, but also having to deal with the kind of emotional toll that it takes on you.
All right.
So, plus boom slang is a cool word.
Yeah,
that was the main thing.
I think I read underneath the video for it, and I read that it already sounds like an evil, just beat down song.
Yeah, people were commenting on the title a lot, saying like, "Oh, that's just a cool word. It just sounds wild." So.
So you also released some videos, of course, for the singles.
Oh yeah.
And both Boom Slang and Self-Destruct are pretty straightforward, just performances of the band. Mm-hmm. But The Truest Love has some, I'd say, documentary footage between it.
It was just trying to put some images in there that were kind of all across the spectrum as far as thought-provoking and stuff like that, to try and get somewhat of an emotional reaction.
It's hunting lions or just human life.
And exactly, just the course of how things kind of go, and it's supposed to kind of symbolize, you know, the decisions you make really have an effect. You know what I mean? Yeah. So many people do so many careless things, especially nowadays, because so many people are entitled. They feel like they don't have to necessarily pay for their actions, and it's kind of creating this toxic atmosphere that we're all living in, as far as, you know, people aren't really, I feel like, retaining how to treat each other in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And it's pretty vicious stuff, but it is what it is. There's still good people out there, and there's still people that are trying to be social and make a difference and not just worry about themselves. And it's just kind of tough living in a world of people that are becoming more and more selfish kind of inherently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. So, like, the messages that you carry with your music seem to be very important, because when I started to research for this interview, a term that always came up with Kublai Khan was like thought-provoking and a very, very socially critic band. And so has this always been important to you?
Oh yeah, 100%, since day one. I mean, I remember before this band really even started, two of the guys that were doing it, they asked me if I wanted to be the vocalist, because I played drums in a band with them prior.
Yeah, that's how the way it goes.
Yeah, pretty much. But I told them, I was like, yeah, but I was like, if I want to do vocals and all that stuff, I didn't want to talk about just junk. I told them, I was like, I want to say some stuff, and we kind of always kept with that. And I genuinely think that on top of people, you know, that are into this style of music, I guess typically just enjoying the music itself, that a lot of the reason that we've lasted this long is that there's a lot more to chew on with this band than just like, oh, that's heavy, or that's really brutal to say, or something like that, you know? Yeah, but I think the heaviest things in the world are reality. The heaviest things are the things that people feel every day, because that's what'll get you listening. You can hear it, but you're not listening, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, because there's been a handful of bands that did that for me, and that's what really kind of woke me up and put me online as far as really wanting to immerse myself in this style of music in particular, you know?
So, and I think you already said that in 2019 it became even more important to be like that as a band. Do you think that other bands should open up to those topics and begin to make use of the reach they have?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's one of those things, if you have a microphone in your hand and you're getting able to play in front of 1,000 people,
yeah.
I mean, I would never knock anybody's hustle or knock what they're talking about, because it's one of those things, you have the ability to say whatever you want, but I just think that if you do feel compelled to say something that you think is gripping or important or may have somewhat of a way to gap the bridge between you and somebody else, why not use it, you know? Like I said, that was done for me. I was, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I had bands that I would listen to that said things that hit me in a way that no one else could tell me.
So that's kind of interesting. So by who actually?
Like bands like Comeback Kid, and like Bury Your Dead and stuff like that. The songs that, before that, you know, I always knew I wasn't necessarily alone, but I was like, man, like these dudes are in these kick-ass bands and they feel a lot of the same shit that I'm feeling. And it's just crazy, and it's nice to hear the same thing reciprocated back for people that listen to our band. They're like, oh, you know, there's people that say like, oh, your band got me through my deployment, got me through my divorce, got me through the death of my parents, like whatever it may be, and all this stuff. And it's like, that's heavy to me because I don't know all that stuff. I'm just writing it for my own personal therapy, and if it helps somebody else, that's just a beautiful thing that makes music, you know, worldwide. So
it's a good motivation as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that keeps me going half the time.
Okay. So speaking of keeping going, like 2019 also marks the 10th year anniversary of the band.
Pretty much, yeah.
So just one pretty stupid question, but I gotta ask, where does the name come from? Of course I googled it, and it's, why name your hardcore band after a Chinese emperor?
Well, the whole story behind that is me and the original bass player, when we were writing the music, we wrote a lot of the music that we had before we even had a name.
Okay.
And so we were just kind of like, oh man, what do we want to name this band? And we'd come up with all these different names, and they'd be like, I think this is cool. And I'd be like, I don't like that. And I'd tell him, but I think this is cool. And he would say, well, he didn't like that. So we basically ended up getting to the point where we had like a book of poems. We were going through just trying to find cool names. And there was a poem called Kublai Khan.
Oh, okay.
And we were like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty crazy. Like people, that'll stick out, you know, people will notice that. That was literally the only reason we named it that. You know what I mean? And after some time starting to figure out what the poem was about, it's about a lot of crazy stuff, but there's a few parallels in it that were interesting enough to where we could, like, I guess, safely adopt it and be like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
You know, and then even recently having to add the TX on the end and stuff like that just kind of makes it a little bit more personal. So.
All right. No shame in that.
No,
still a pretty cool name.
Yeah, thanks.
So what has changed over those past 10 years besides band members maybe and tour
That's what I was going to
sizes?
say. The main thing is band members. I mean, it's a kind of a crazy answer because I feel like a whole lot hasn't changed, but everything has changed at the same time. Like if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be even having this interview right now in a completely different country, I'd be like, no, that's probably not possible. That's not in the cards for us. So there's just a lot of things that I grapple with the idea a lot that I'll probably be a lot older in my life. A lot of things will have happened after this band's done, and at that point I'll be able to truly reflect on it and have the correct answers. Because right now I'm still just kind of living in the moment. I kind of have been for the last 10 years.
I mean, that's part of being in a band.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what makes it so fantastic too. Is you get to live this opportunity that not a lot of people get to do, and it's if you're constantly overthinking it or you're trying to live too much in your mind about it, it can get scary, and it's kind of just like, man, just enjoy it while you got it, because everything's got a shelf life, everything's going to die someday, and so is this band, so you just got to enjoy it while you got it, you know.
Right, so what other tips could you give young bands that are just starting out?
I mean, the main one for me that I had, you know, from other bands that I would talk to was just don't stop. You're going to have 200 million chances to stop. You're going to have, just as many people telling you to stop. There's going to be people that you love that are going to be like, you're making a bad decision. That's one of those things, you can live your whole life trying to please other people, or you can just try and do something for yourself. Doesn't mean it's going to work. You might fail miserably, and that's just how it goes. But that's life, you know what I mean? But you're not going to know unless you try, so just don't stop and just keep doing it. Because if there's a lot of the bands that we've toured with and a lot of the bands that I love, like, if you were to trace back their lineage and you were to listen to their first bands or their local bands, people were just like, they had no support. People were like, you guys are terrible, stop playing music, this and that. And they just didn't stop. And eventually it paid off for, you know, some of them. And you just got to find the right band members to be in a band with. You got to have the right attitude, the right work ethic, you know, the right just compass to just move in the right direction, you know.
From what I've heard, the chemistry in your band is pretty good. Probably the best it has been so far.
Oh yeah, I think we've had the same members for years and years and years now, so that's really helped with the cohesion of everything.
But looking back at 2009, would you rather form your band nowadays in 2019 or even further back, like in 1999?
Further back the better, probably.
Really?
We came into music at a very odd time because it was when social media was in its infancy.
Yeah.
As far as, I remember our band had a MySpace,
yeah.
but we would still print flyers and hang them up. We were in this weird kind of change in time, you know what I mean? And I think starting earlier would have been interesting just for the fact of getting some of that kind of old root knowledge of how bands used to do it and stuff like that. I would definitely probably not want to start a band now just because I feel like social media, for as important of a tool as it can be, it's damaging, it's oversaturated a lot of stuff. It's whenever everything is accessible all the time, forever now, it's impossible for most people to really bond with something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nothing sticks anymore.
Exactly. You just gotta keep putting out a record every year and a half, hoping that people will, you know, keep paying attention to your streams, and it's all about all this other stuff, and it's just kind of the nature of the beast. But I'm extremely thankful for where we came from and the time period that we began. Yeah. And I'm glad that things are starting to go well now. It all plays into itself, you know what I mean? So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. So what do you think of the hardcore scene in almost 2020?
What do I think of it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kept me going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot of things in my life that I have to attribute to this, the community, the people that I know. I mean, pretty much all my best friends I've met through doing this, you know what I mean? The best friends I have back home have supported me 100% doing this kind of stuff. So it's really a sense of community that I don't think is very attainable in a lot of other social groups or a lot of other subcultures, you know what I mean? It's not just so much every man for himself, it's you know, the community for everybody. And it's just really nice. It's a humbling thing that any person, no matter where they come from or who they are, can walk into something like this and feel just a general sense of acceptance. And in fact, that's extremely important nowadays because the polarization of everything, just the climate of society right now is very difficult. There's a lot of things that people are, people are unsure of everything. People are unsure of each other. They're unsure of the future. And this is just a place where you can kind of forget all that, even if it's just for a night. And I think that is so therapeutic, and it's so kind of undervalued by so many people. They don't understand how beautiful they have it, you know what I mean? And like I said, I would have dropped out years ago if this wasn't just this spectacular thing that it's continued to be and is only getting better, in my opinion at least, you know?
Right. So what's actually next for Kublai Khan?
Taking a break, Christmas.
Okay.
And then we're going to Australia with Straight from the Path. It's it's only like a week, something like that. We're playing Unified, doing some stuff with them, and that'll be nice. And then we have a few months off, which will be incredibly nice because we've been going nonstop. And then just getting the year booked out, just trying to keep going. I mean, that's as far as our band's plan and everything like that. We've never necessarily had too much of a plan as far as just keep going. Yeah. Just keep getting on tours, keep playing as many people as we can, and just keep it moving. And it's worked so far, so things are good.
It's so great to hear that you guys are touring with Straight from the Path. Because when I listened to you guys first, I was like, those guys should be touring together.
Yeah, no, they're some of our buds.
Yeah,
those
cool.
Guys. Yeah, cool. I was just on their record that they just put out. I think they maybe put theirs out like a month ago.
Yeah.
Something like that, and I was honored when they asked me to do it. I love those guys. So to get to go to other countries with them and stuff like that's a real big honor. Yeah. And they'll be here in December, I think. I think they're coming through with
they are.
Dead Wars Prada, maybe, Gideon, stuff like.
They're playing here.
That'll be a good time.
I think so,
yeah. You gonna interview them too then, I'm sure?
I already interviewed them
I don't know.
a while back, but I think we're going to ask them again, Yeah,
they're nice people.
Yeah,
so
they
I'm
are.
Sure
Yeah. I enjoyed talking to them a lot.
Yeah, very insightful, very knowledgeable people. So.
And I also enjoyed talking to you a lot, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to your show tonight. I think you're going to be the best ones, right? I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think so.
I appreciate that very much. Thank
Thanks for the interview.
Yeah.
And hopefully see you again sometime in the future.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Thanks.